What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. We do have some big updates. Firstly, the club's two main objectives for the summer of 2023 are confirmed. Firstly, the big investment in the right back position. Secondly, the return of Messi. We have updates on both those situations, and of course that will depend heavily on income and also exits. We do have some exits updates, of course, on the captains, on Jordi Alba and Busquets, and how Xavi wants to keep Busquets for one more year. That way they can sign Zubimendi, and Zubimendi can learn from Busquets for one more year. But as we all know, the decision will be on Busquets' hand, not on the club or Xavi, anything like that. We'll have to wait and see. Now, the highlight of this video, of course, is the big injury updates on international break. Now, mainly how they can affect the squad. Xavi is thinking, of course, with Araujo and Kounde going to be out for a long time, he's thinking about using Frenkie de Jong and Marcos Alonso as center back options. We'll talk about that, and finally, of course, we will give those injury updates on Ousmane Dembele, Jules Kounde, and the big one, Araujo. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 300 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. So the two main topics I want to discuss about are what is Barcelona's two priorities for the upcoming summer. It's very clear the club have two main goals. The first one being the return of Lionel Messi. Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona are studying how to rebuild the relationship with Leo Messi, something ranging from giving him a great tribute and appointing him as the ambassador of the club to signing him as a free agent in 2023. Barcelona need to analyze many factors before going for Messi's return: space in the wage bill, tactics, cost of the operation, marketing, etc. Xavi would welcome Leo Messi's return, but keeping in mind that the team is under construction. Messi is currently focused on the season at PSG and the World Cup. He has not ruled out a return to Barcelona as he has a good relationship with Xavi. He will make his decision though after the World Cup, but PSG are crazy to renew his contract. Laporta wants to bring Messi back as he made it his personal challenge. Laporta is the one actually at the club who wants Messi's return the most. Last year he promised, of course, to extend his contract, but he could not do so because of La Liga's salary limit. After a year now, the Laporta-Messi relationship is beginning to normalize. Club sources say there have been a telephone message, but no meeting yet. Messi's entourage though denied this. In any case, meetings have to take place. Barcelona want to give Messi the tribute he deserves for everything he has given to the club and keep him in a role linked with the club, such as the club ambassador, but Messi would actually prefer the role of a technical secretary. So again, right now, the role that Jordi Cruyff had last summer, of course, before he was promoted to sporting director. Again, Messi talked about this a lot on podcasts and his video about why he didn't leave Barcelona. He mentioned this multiple times. That's not a surprise, of course. Barcelona cannot pay Messi's current salary that he earns right now at PSG. Of course, he would have to accept a lower salary to help Barcelona comply with FFP. Moreover, sportingly, he would have to accept a secondary role sometime. Now, this whole entire article is great, except for that last sentence. A secondary role for Messi. He's getting right in that starting lineup. Are you freaking kidding me? I get it, you know. Rafinha's there, Dembele's coming up, Ansu Fati's growing, but this is Messi. You're the front three: Lewandowski, Messi, and whoever else. Let's be honest, ain't no one coming close to that. Now, Gerard de Mero also confirmed all the news, and he also came out saying that Xavi believes that if Messi returns to Barcelona, he would look for a space for him and surround him with everything necessary so that he can feel as comfortable as possible. So of course, we know that Xavi is fully behind this. Xavi and Messi are actually very close friends, more than a good relationship. I think they have a fantastic relationship. But the other question is, can the club do this on paper with the money coming in, wage bill, FFP, marketing, all that sort of stuff? Can the club actually bring him back? I think if a couple captains leave, of course, keep in mind the captains' wages are huge, except for Roberto. If we see, I think, maybe two captains leave, I think Messi's return is possible. But if we only see maybe one, I think it will be difficult. I think, of course, Frenkie de Jong will have to take a wage cut as well. You give maybe half of that to Messi. Of course, the club still want to sign Bernardo Silva. I think the wage bill is going to be the big problem about Messi. How much of a wage cut will he take? Of course, right now, he doesn't have to take that 50% that he did last summer. He can come now and earn the minimum, which I think is what, $350,000 over 6 months, which I think Adama earned and Dani Alves earned. So Messi, of course, will not go that low. But I'm just saying, hypothetically, he can go as low as, $250,000 per week, $500,000 per week. So I'll have to wait and see how the club analyzes it. But again, I think on paper will be the big problem bringing back Messi. But I think theoretically, convincing him, I think it is doable. So we'll have to wait and see. But no doubt, one of the 2 goals for Barcelona this summer is to try their best to bring Messi back. Now, the second priority for Barcelona this summer is to heavily, and I mean almost probably use the whole entire budget in the right back position. Jordi Alba came out saying the most important objective for Barcelona this up and coming summer will be the right back position, which is where the club will spend the most money or the majority of the transfer budget in that position. Firstly, the 2 right backs of the club, Roberto and Bellerin. Sergio Roberto is supposed to leave once his contract ends, and Bellerin is more likely to return to Real Betis than stay at Barcelona, and Barcelona plans to spend a large amount of money on this position. Now, he mentioned, Trent Alexander-Arnold saying that, with the budget that Barcelona have for the right back position, anyone is possible, but of course, if you want to get Trent, you have to spend a lot of money. What the club's idea is right now, according to Ramiro, is to sign 2 right backs. I think one high quality, top tier, one who can grow, possibly, provide good competition. So I'm thinking Vanderson. I think if Vanderson is for an affordable price, I would say 30, maybe 40 million euros, and you're bringing the right back, that's around 60. That's a good 100 million spent, in my opinion, in that right back position. But of course, the first thing that has to happen is that Roberto and Bellerin will have to leave. I think both their exits, to be honest, Bellerin and Roberto, is not guaranteed. I think Bellerin does have a better chance than Roberto, but again, I would say 90% of the decision for them to stay at the club after the season will be based on their performances. If they play well, let's say for example, Bellerin plays well, you spend big on a right back, you keep Bellerin as a backup, everyone's happy. Roberto plays well, you spend a big money on the starter, you have Roberto as a backup, everyone is okay. But if they both perform, that's where the big decision comes in mind. I think it's more likely at the moment that Roberto leaves and Bellerin stays, because I know for a fact that Laporta loves and has a good connection with the signing he makes. I think Bellerin is on course for renewal if he just performs well. If he does not perform well, of course, situation will definitely change. So we'll wait and see. But again, we knew this from last summer when we spent the money on Lewandowski, Rafinha, Kounde. The club are going to go big on a right back this upcoming summer. The question now is really how much do we have, and also who is the main right back option. All we've heard so far is Vanderson. We've heard, the club like Hakimi, the club like Trent, but nothing concrete. The only right back that we have strong links to is Vanderson. Anything else is open. Let's be honest, Vanderson is not the high quality right back that we need at the moment. We need someone big. So we'll wait and see. But again, the 2 clear objectives for Barcelona this summer is firstly the return of Lionel Messi and also to spend big on the right back position. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 24 hours. First up is, of course, one of the captains. It is Jordi Alba. Now, Sport have come out saying that Jordi Alba's desire remains to fulfill his contract until 2024. He's very motivated, eager to face a current situation, does not want to give up trying to regain his promise in the team, and believes he's still at a good physical level. Now, after he played for Spain against Switzerland, he scored a goal, good decent finish. He came out after the match saying that at first I would like to thank Luis Enrique for trusting me. I'm like, oh, little shot there at Xavi, bloody hell. But look, Jordi Alba, again, it's on his performance. If he performs well, he's useful for Xavi. Xavi wants to keep him, he'll stay. No contract renewal for him is definitely going to happen, whether he leaves this summer or next summer for free. I cannot see him staying past 2024. Again, it will come down to how he plays. Now, if he goes with Spain to the World Cup, that could be, of course, play a factor. But I think more so has to do with the Barcelona first team. Now, I think if, Busquets, Piqué, Roberto all leave, I think Jordi Alba will say, yep, I'm out. Let me just, leave with them, so to speak. I think Jordi Alba's situation can be manipulated here and there. But I think there's more of a chance that he leaves than stays. Because the reality is, his wages are not just worth it. Like we talked about Messi, you get rid of Busquets, Piqué, Jordi Alba, Roberto. All 4 of them, right? You give all 4 of them Messi's wages, and then you can take off a couple hundred off that as well, it would be cheaper, and of course you improve the squad and more beneficial to Barcelona. So we'll wait and see on Jordi, but again, it's going to come down to performances, how if Xavi trusts him or not. But I think an exit next summer is definitely on the table, but now it's in his hands to turn around the situation. Now, out of all the 4 captains, the one captain who can actually walk away with his head held high and also make the decision on his exit or continuation on his own is the first team captain, Sergio Busquets. Out of all of them, he makes the decision. If he wants to stay, he will stay. If he wants to leave, he will leave. Now, Edu Polo from Deportivo came out saying that Xavi is delighted with Busquets' performances and his contribution as a captain and wants him to stay for another season. The coach also believes that he'll be the best teacher for the best replacement they think on the market right now, Martin Zubimendi. Busquets will make his decision after the World Cup. Of course, Busquets a few days ago in a press conference said, look, I have not made a decision whatsoever. I have no idea when I'm going to retire with Spain, continue with Barcelona. I have no idea. And of course, in the media, we're hearing that he will leave 100%. He'll go to Inter Miami in the MLS. It's pretty much guaranteed, but we'll wait and see. Again, keeping Busquets for another year, my question right now is, what about Nico? What's going to happen with Nico? You're going to loan him out again? We can't have 3 pivots. That just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I get it. You want Zubimendi to learn from Busquets. Makes sense. I also want Nico to learn from Busquets as well. But I think there comes the time and a place. I think if Busquets stays, I can't really see us signing Zubimendi, if I'm being completely honest. I think what's best now is to, I've already, in my mind, I'm already, set that Busquets is going to leave, right? If he ends up staying, I'll be happy. But, in my mind, 2023... he's gone. The question now is, when are they going to have to hold the press conference? I can just see it right now after the Spanish Super Cup, whether we've won it or lost it. Oh, Barcelona tweet, Busquets has called for a press conference immediately. It'll be scheduled for this. Comes out crying, yeah, I'm going to leave. I'm not ready for that. But we'll wait and see. It's very, very clear that the club want to keep him. Not even the club only, but also Xavi as well. We already offered him a renewal last summer with a salary reduction, and he did reject it. So keep that in mind. We'll wait and see. Literally everyone at the club, up and down, hierarchy, coaching staff, wants Busquets to stay for one more season, but the decision will come down to Busquets himself. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 24 hours. Firstly, an update on some player welfare, more specifically around Pedri, where Fernando Polo from Deportivo came out doing a big article on why Xavi thinks Pedri is the most important player at the club. First off, before I get into it, most important player Pedri, I mean, he's top 3. Let's not get it twisted, but I think we would miss Lewandowski more if he gets injured than Pedri, because Pedri, you do have some options there. Lewandowski, you've got freaking no one, especially with Depay being injured. But let's get into it. Fernando Porto from Deportivo came out saying that Xavi considers Pedri as the most important player in the squad and has given him some instructions to improve his performances further and help the whole team grow. Firstly, do not get injured. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay. Second, score more goals. Thirdly, take a step forward and become a leader. Pedri is a total professional, taking care of his training, nutrition, and rest. Xavi knows this, but he has asked him to stop playing if he feels any discomfort. Pedri missed most of the last season with Barcelona, and Barcelona struggled without him. They want to learn from their mistake. Xavi has been a great admirer of Pedri since his first day arriving at the club, but the coach has asked him to score more goals. They've been working on it, and the numbers are already improving. He has intelligence to make the runs and can score more, which again, he has scored a lot more. Credit to him. Pedri is still only 19 years old, and in the team, there are many players older than him. However, Xavi trusts him so much that he has told him that he must start leading the team more, both on and off the field. Pedri is a discreet and humble kid with a lot of humor. So when I first saw this, I think Pedri might be a captain. If 3 or 4 captains leave, I think Pedri has a chance. I think Ter Stegen is guaranteed. Then after that, it's a fair game. I've seen a lot of reports saying that Lewandowski could be a captain. Of course, he's leading the team on the pitch. We see it. He's a veteran. That makes sense to me, but I still feel like you got to be at the club a few years to be a captain. I'm not really a fan of giving players, first 2 or 3 years in the club, them giving them the captain. Like, look at Harry Maguire, for example. He's there. He was at United for 5 months, got captain. Look at him now. So I think let's say, for example, hypothetically all 4 captains leave, which of course is a possibility without a shadow of a doubt. I think the 4 captains will be Ter Stegen, Lewandowski, and I think Pedri is next in line. I cannot see anyone else. You could say Dembele, now that he knows the language. I think he's in a good shout. I think you could say Araujo as well, but he gets injured a lot. Let's be honest. We'll talk about Araujo, of course, at the end of the video. So we'll wait and see. I think on the goal scoring aspect, he has been improving a lot. He's scoring a lot more goals. Scored a couple this season. Of course, one being offside. We saw him score near the end of last season as well. So he's improving in that aspect. I think he could score a few more goals, but he's improving. And then, of course, don't get injured. I think a lot of that is coming from the fact that Pedri always plays even when he has discomfort. But Xavi told him, look, if you have discomfort, do not play. Let us know. We'll plan differently. We'll put Xavi there, we'll put Garcia, whatever it may be. We have a fantastic squad depth now, so now we can make that decision. But of course, if you have discomfort and we want to play you, then different story. So far so good for Pedri. I think Xavi considering the most important player is a bit of a stretch in my opinion, but let me know in the comments below. Do you think Pedri is the most important player for Barcelona? But again, Xavi very happy with Pedri's development, but of course there is still room for improvement. Now, a player who could provide backup and rotation for Pedri in case he gets injured or anything like that is of course Pablo Torre, which over the weekend he did make his Barcelona Athletic debut. Credit to him, he played well, got a pre-assist as well. He came out after the match, he was asked about his debut and then about him playing and not playing. He came out saying, I'm a Barcelona player and I'll play wherever they tell me to. I'm ready to come to Barcelona Athletic when necessary and I'll work hard with the first team as well. I'm very happy with my debut at the Estadio Johan Cruyff, which of course this quote contradicts everything we're hearing in the media. Apparently, Pablo Torre was being very stubborn. He didn't want to go play for Barcelona Athletic. He thought he was at a better level. He'd rather go back to racing or a division higher, of course. So, look, I think this is fantastic for him. He needs minutes, of course. And in the first team, if you're just going to sit on the bench week in, week out, what's the point? Go down there, play, learn the style. Of course, Rafa kids having a great start there so far, playing good football. I see this as a win-win-win for everyone. Barcelona Athletic, first team, and Pablo Torre himself. Let's hope this continues. But again, games are coming in for Barcelona thick and fast. I think no doubt he will get his chance in the first team. I would say January time. I think then, unless we have injuries now, God forbid, but I think after the World Cup, Pablo Torre will get a lot of chances. Now, despite the fact that we're only a month and a few weeks into the season, we're already getting leaks, of course, of next season's kit. The main reason being is that next season the kit will be white for Barcelona, the second away kit for the first time since the 1970s, and now we have a leak of the full design, and it will be an exact replica from the 1970s, but of course a bit modernized, of course, with the color and the logos and the sponsorships. Now, of course, we will have the old badge, of course, that's confirmed now. We're going to have blue shorts. The socks are going to be striped red and blue, of course. And also at the end of the sleeves, it will be colored as well. So theoretically, the whole kit will be white, which I'm not a big fan of. You got to put some sort of stripe or something, man. I just think full out white, I'm not a big fan of. Mainly, of course, because of the rivalry that we have in the Clasico with Madrid. But everyone's saying that, oh, we've already had it before. It's no big difference, not the first time. I get it, but I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it, but personally, I'm not a big fan of it. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about Barcelona wearing a white kit next season, but that's pretty much now confirmed, and here is the actual design. Now, before we get into the injury updates, I actually want to discuss how impactful the injuries will be on the Barcelona first team and what changes Xavi could make. Now, having been from AES, as we all know, very, very close to Xavi and gets every single team lineup almost absolutely spot on. He came out saying that following the injuries to Araujo and Kounde, it is not ruled out that Xavi could replace them with Frenkie de Jong or Marcos Alonso as a center back option. Now, when I saw this, I'm thinking, three thoughts, maybe two thoughts came to my mind. Firstly, Xavi is so desperate not to use PK, he'd rather use Alonso and Frenkie. I mean, that pretty much tells you what you need to say. Second of all, I think Frenkie as a center back, not the best option. I think in a back three, center back, we saw under Koeman, it works. And a back two, bit suspect. But Marcos Alonso, I think personally, is not a bad shout. We do have a lot of left back coverage. I think with his height, I think with his speed, as of course a center back will be good. As a wing back, it is pretty dreadful. But as a center back, it could work. Of course, I'm curious to see Marcos Alonso there. I'm not gonna lie, I think he could do a job there. I think Frenkie de Jong I am a bit suspect with, so we'll wait and see what Xavi decides. But again, he is considering other center back options with the big injuries that we have in that position. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is give you guys the updates on the injuries from the international break. We do have 3 updates on Dembele, Kounde, and Araujo. With Frenkie and Memphis, is pretty much right now self-explanatory, although the club have not released an official announcement on either players quite yet, so we're still pending further confirmation. But first on Dembele. Now, France did play Denmark yesterday, and Dembele did not participate in any way, shape, or form. It was decided before the match that Dembele will be rested, as he does have some discomfort and was not going to be risked in this match. Apparently, Ousmane Dembele actually took that step forward and told Didier Deschamps, I don't want to play, got some discomfort, I want to be fully fit, ready to go for Barcelona. So credit to Ousmane there, he did take that step forward, he did not end up playing. Hopefully he comes back to Barcelona and is fit. Don't see Xavi really starting him against Real Mallorca now. I think he needs a couple weeks rest. We're here right now. It's not really a serious injury, but it could be if it's aggravated. So I'll wait and see with that. But also on Ousmane, there was another interesting story about him in the media about the birth of his first child, and it's coming in from Roger Toloro from Mundo Deportivo. He came out saying the day Dembele's daughter was born, Laporta actually went to the hospital with a bouquet to congratulate him and his wife. Laporta and Xavi advised him to stay with his family, but the player himself insisted on playing against Elche a few hours later. He wanted to score a goal and dedicate it to his daughter. Now, unfortunately, he did not score. I would have loved to see that celebration, but here's the big part for me. Laporta saw him in the hospital. That shows player-president connection, which I think will be very, very key and very important for his renewal, which will definitely be spoken about, and a decision will be made some point next summer, because of course next summer he'll have 1 year left on his deal. I think that connection is very, very important. But again, next time Ousmane Dembele scores, there will definitely be some sort of celebration for his daughter, so congrats to him, and hopefully he is fully fit when he comes back, because we desperately need him for the month of October. Now, over the past 48 hours, there have been 2 injuries that were confirmed by the club. The first one, of course, is Jules Kounde. The club released an official announcement saying that tests on Saturday morning have confirmed that Jules Kounde has a bicep femoral injury in his left hamstring. As a result, he is unavailable for selection until he recovers. And of course, his continuation will mark his availability on his recovery. So again, club not giving a timeline, but we do have a timeline, of course, from the media. Javi Miguel came out saying that tests have confirmed that Kounde has suffered a rupture, due to which his time off will be around 4 to 5 weeks. At best, he can return by October 26th, but there will be more tests happening on Monday. So when I saw this, I'm thinking, oh, a month without Kounde is gonna be very, very tough. But then we started to hear some good news. Javi Miguel came out saying that Jules Kounde could return a little earlier than initially expected. At first, the test carried out for France, it was speculated that he would be out for around 4 to 5 weeks, and now apparently the time will be 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm thinking, all right, week off, we'll take that. And then Catalonia Radio broke the news. They came out saying that good news for Jules Kounde, his injury isn't as serious as initially presumed, and he could be 100% fit for the Clasico. And I'm thinking, get in. And then Javi Miguel did a whole entire 360 and changed his decision as well. He came out saying that Jules Kounde's injury is not as serious as initially expected. Earlier, it seemed that he'll be out for around a month, but after tests in Barcelona, the time off is set for around 3 weeks. He is expected to be back for the Clasico, so he will miss the Mallorca match, of course, doubleheader against Inter, then another game in La Liga. So we're looking at 4 games right now for Kounde, which, to be honest, not that bad. All I can say is this: do not rush him. We are not in the mood for relapses. I've seen this before. We've seen it over the past 3 years. We rush him back for the important game. He plays, and the next game he goes off injured. Don't need that. I want 1,000% Kounde. I want a 1,000% fit Kounde, not 100%. Apparently, Kounde called Xavi saying that, oh, don't rule me out of your plans for the Clasico. I'm going to be fit for that game. Include me in your plans. If you're going to start me, start me. Whoa, Jules. Slow your horses. Look, I'd rather play 100% fit Bellerin than a 75% Kounde. I'm going to be honest. Some people say they'll go with 75% Kounde, but I'm going with Bellerin. So, we'll wait and see with Kounde. I would expect him to be at least on the bench for the Clasico, maybe starting if we have a huge miracle, but again, his injury isn't as serious as we first thought. He should be fit for the match against Bayern Munich at the end of the month as well, which of course will be a big plus for us. So Jules Kounde out for maybe around 3 weeks, should be back around mid-October. And the final injury update is of course on Ronald Araujo. And the final injury update is of course on Ronald Araujo, who the club have confirmed suffered an injury out on international break. They've confirmed 2. One of them is Kounde, the other one is Araujo. They've come out saying that tests on Saturday morning have confirmed that Araujo has a right abductor injury. As a result, he's unavailable for selection until he recovers, and of course his recovery will mark his availability. We are hearing at the moment that Araujo's injury is serious. It is way more serious than the firstly thought, and he will be out for way longer than Jules Kounde. Javi Miguel first came out saying that Araujo will be out for around 6 to 7 weeks. So he should be fit for the World Cup, and he'll come back for 1 or 2 games for Barcelona before the World Cup, but theoretically he'll be out for around a month and a half. And then we heard the big news from Relevo, of course Juan Martí. He came out saying that Ronald Araujo's injury is more serious than expected. Barcelona is already studying whether the Uruguayan should undergo surgery. I'm thinking, holy shite. Then Catalonia Radio, of course, got the first news right about Kounde. They came out saying that Araujo's injury is very serious. So serious, he could miss the World Cup for Uruguay. Barcelona are now studying whether or not he should have the surgery. And then similar to Kounde, Javi Miguel, the injury guy, of course, did a whole entire 360. He came out saying that initially Araujo undergoing surgery was ruled out, but now there will be a meeting between him, the coaches, and the doctors today to make a decision. All options are open. In any case, worst case scenario, he will be out for around 6 to 8 weeks, which is of course around a month and a half, 2 months. I've been told that he will be out for Barcelona until the new year. So we will not see Araujo play for Barcelona until 2023. Although we do have 1 game on the last day of 2022, December 31st. I forget who we play, but we do have a game on that day. He could be there for that on the bench. Best case scenario, starting maybe, but I've been told that he will be out until the new year. The question now is, will he get the surgery or not? We're hearing Ansu Fati, Umtiti comparisons. If he goes with the natural treatment, he could get relapses like Ansu Fati did. He could F up his, muscles like Umtiti did with his knee, all that sort of stuff. If we didn't have a World Cup, I would say get the surgery. We have squad depth. We don't want to risk anymore. Get the surgery. With the World Cup, though, I think that will sway Araujo's decision a lot. Of course, he's still very young. He has at least, not including this World Cup, 2 more in him without a shadow of a doubt. But this would be his first World Cup. So I'm not quite sure what will happen. I hope, for the sake of Barcelona, what I want, of course, is for him to do the surgery. I couldn't give less of a shit about Uruguay. But of course, it's a place nationality, so I'll highly take that under consideration. We'll wait and see. I think the club will bring up the cases of Umtiti and Fati in the meeting, saying, look what happened to them. Do you want that to happen to yourself? You're going to have so many more World Cups right now. You have to think about the now. So we'll wait and see. The fact that he went off injured as well in 20 seconds just makes the situation just even more crap. So we'll wait and see. I think right now it's basically confirmed that Araujo will be out for Barcelona until 2023. The question now is, will he go to the World Cup? So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing on it, firstly, of course, is on the return of Lionel Messi. Do you think it'll happen or not? Secondly, on the CDM pivot position issues at Barcelona, what would you do? Would you keep Busquets for 1 year, sign Zubimendi to learn from him, let go of Busquets, sign Zubimendi and have him at Nico? Would you keep Nico if you keep Busquets and have all 3 of them? What would you do in that CDM dilemma? Thirdly, your thoughts on Marcos Alonso and Frenkie de Jong being used as center backs, of course, in a back 2 or maybe in a back 3. And finally, of course, your thoughts on the injury blows to Barcelona. For Kounde, think he'll be back for the Clasico. For Dembele, I think it's just discomfort. And lastly, on Araujo, if you were him, what would you do? Surgery or neurosurgery? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.